Hey, you guys, thank you so much for coming back. And we are now in season 3. It is my show, and we have a lot of different segments coming up, so I'm excited about it. I didn't think that I was going to make it back during the pandemic because the pandemic really had me worrying that I would not be able to bring the show back until next year. But with a little bit of faith and a little bit of believing in myself and knowing that whatever happens through this time frame, we're just gonna ride, we're just gonna work it and just make it do what it do, right? So season 3 is here. I've had some phenomenal guests, but guess what? Season 3 has a lot more surprises. It's not gonna be just guests, right? So today we're gonna be doing lyrics breakdown. That's what you guys know me for on my podcast. So hashtag lyrics breakdown is one of my podcasts. Hashtag I am Dee Shields. You can listen to me on Amazon, iHeartRadio. You guys find me everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. Over there in India, they're listening to me. In Germany, they're listening to me. I have family there. So look, I'm excited about being across the globe. I did see some Asia listening to me. So wherever you guys are tuning in, I am grateful and I appreciate you. Just know that I appreciate you. So I'm trying to be a little bit more involved with my YouTube. You know, you guys have been able to see the podcast on YouTube. Listen to the podcast on YouTube for a while, but you usually don't see me come live on the video often unless I'm reviewing a product or you're sharing the grandchildren, because you guys know I have 4. Ooh. Who got a baby on the way? I have 4 grandchildren. So with that, you just never know like what's going to happen or where I'm going to be at with the show on the podcast. But I said, you know what? I need to start bringing myself on the video more. So more relationship talk is coming in season 3. I'm excited. We're going to be talking about the book. I have a phenomenal author. I'm working on his book. He is the bodyguard of the hottest people in the hip hop industry. So he is definitely the spokesperson for who's what and where in bodyguard world. Let's see, hint, new artist that he's working with recently, the baby. Previous artist that he works with, Carrie Hilson. I don't want to give away too much because I don't want to say too much too soon. Who's another artist he worked out? He's worked with so many people we can't keep up, right? So we got his book coming, so we'll bring him on the show. We'll talk about that. We also are going to talk to we're just going to talk to a lot of people. I'm not going to tell you everybody right now. We got to bring our guests on today. Lyrics breakdown. Put your hustle first. I'm excited. Let's talk about the song. I want to know everything that came with putting the song together. I want to talk about those lyrics. Why did I hear a little bit of relationship talk in the lyrics? Dee, that's just you. You hear it in every song, right? But no, I heard some relationship talk in there. I had to talk about it. We're going to bring that artist on so we can talk right now, okay? I'm excited. Talk the song first. Thank you so much for coming by to talk to me.
I appreciate you having me. I'm honored to be here. So
man,
thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm excited. Austin, Texas. He has the key to the city. You guys have no idea who I'm talking to, but we'll just get on into that a little bit later. Nook, I want to thank you for everything that you've been for my family in the past, especially when it comes to Jump On It. You put my father on those gospel stages, back in the day. Yeah, my baby sister, Jaysta. So we've had Jade on your stages. We've had people that I work with like Smackola and a host of other artists on your stage. I've always been grateful for that. Diva Entertainment kind of moved a little into Dee Shields, where I'm at right now, but you know all about evolving and going to the next level and taking it somewhere, right? So, Nook, I'm excited. Tell the people who you are and how long you've been in this hip-hop game.
Oh, man. Well, Nook Turner from Austin, Texas, born and raised. I'm an artist. I started off before anything being an artist is I wanted to fight for my community and I wanted to change our conditions. I grew up during the crack epidemic. So I started seeing how that was affecting our communities and our hoods. And I realized that music was the way that I could tell my people what was going on. During a period we was stranded. We was living in Thurman Heights. The projects here, we didn't have a phone. We didn't have a car. We was in the mud, rock bottom, and so barely. Most of my family was on the east side because I'm born and raised on the east side, and so for them to come out to see us out at Thurman Heights was a
Right.
treat because we never had contact with our relatives during this time, and so when they would come to the house, I would try to make them stay and not leave, and so I would perform and do skits and
Yeah.
what if I could do as a 7 or 8 year old to keep them there, and I started
So
realizing
impressive. Yeah.
start
Yeah.
realizing that
Yeah.
my voice really meant something, and
Right.
it would make them listen. And so my
Yeah.
cousin was getting married. This was in '88. My
Okay.
cousin was getting married, and I told her for her wedding gift I would rap for her wedding. And
Yeah. Loves it.
I was just talking. I really didn't know. I hadn't wrote a rap yet or done
Yeah.
anything like that. But my mom is the type of person that she's like, if you said you're gonna do it, you got to
That's
do
it.
it.
That's it.
So she actually
That's
sat
it.
me down and she taught me how to rap. She taught me how to put a verse together.
Loves it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, mom.
So,
Loves it.
and
Yeah.
I performed at her wedding. The first song I ever done was in '88.
Okay.
It was called Kelly and Stanley. And so
Mm-hmm.
we went from living in the projects, being a resident, to me seeing my
Yeah.
mama basically go from the bottom to the top. And we
There you
went from
go.
being residents to actually her managing a whole side of town of the apartments and actually doing big things in
Loves
the
it.
district and turning crowns
Oh.
around. And so Meadowbrook was one of the apartments. They used to call it
Yeah.
Murderbrook. She got pretty much the accolades for changing that around, and I started seeing it.
Right.
And so she would take me throughout all the apartments that she managed, and I would rap, and that was my thing. I became popular that way because I was always
Yeah.
performing and doing things that people would listen, and then I ended up going on
Yeah.
tour with McGruff the Crime Dog. I don't know if you remember McGruff. Take a bite out of
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look at my age speaking to me.
hey,
Yeah.
hey, we've been
Yeah.
here, we done seen it. So so
Exactly. I love
we
it. I didn't know that, Nook. Oh my God, the things you just never know. Wow.
So that's how Jump On
Yeah.
It pretty much came into
Yeah.
fruition years later when I got the
Yeah.
opportunity and I met Dorothy Turner. She gave me the
Nice.
opportunity to do whatever we want to do at Rosewood Park. And my mind had
Yeah.
already been on save my community, do things for
Right.
the youth because I was young then. So,
Mm-hmm.
we put it together. I started working on Jump On It when I was 15. So that's like, so
And
I
I
was,
was always so impressed. I was like, he's how old? Nook, I grew up in South Austin, 4'5", so I went
okay,
to Crockett High School.
okay.
But look, when I was younger, we lived in Grand Villa, and I sort of had that kind of same thing. My father kind of brought us up, but I know what you're talking about. My brother, born and raised East Side. You may know my brother. He goes by Dr. Marcus Truth now, but he was Marcus
Yeah, yeah,
Arnold
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so yeah, I know, I saw so many good things. So when I heard about Jump On It, I was like, who am I working with? And they told me how young you were, and I was just blown away. I was so impressed, so impressed. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
we
love your
working.
story.
And
Yeah.
that's the reason I came up with the song Put Your Hustle First, and we called it that, was
Yeah.
because me doing Jump On It and me doing all the community work, it really deterred me from being able to focus on me being an artist because I
Right.
started off doing it as community work and outreach, but music is really my calling and my love, and I
I
end up
love
having to
it.
sacrifice that for the community. And I look
Exactly.
years later, I realized I really believe I should have put my music first, made
Yeah.
myself an entity within that, and then
Yeah.
use the prowess I had with that to then bring it back to my community. Because it's like
Yeah.
if we don't have the resources and we don't have the
There we
things we
go.
need,
There we go.
and so that's the whole purpose of Put Your Hustle First, is because I should have put that
Exactly.
first. I should have figured out how to
Exactly.
edit. I was so hell bent on.
And I love that you can look back at those things and say, here's how I could have done it different. Yeah. I'm sorry. If there's an echo. So here's how I could have done it a little differently. And that just takes the next person and says, okay, if I take his advice and I do it this way, I might be able to flow with this a little differently. And we want the younger generation to learn from the things that, we weren't doing right, So I just can't imagine if I had stayed in this business. I kind of switched over to podcast writing world. But if I had stayed in this business, where would we go? I was putting artists on your stage at Jump On It. I was putting artists at South by Southwest. So who knows, So you're right. Put our hustle first. Get those resources. said. And then from there, everything else will do what it do, right? So we're gonna talk the song, Nook. I gotta get into the song. You feature some great artists. I want to hear about your artists also featured in there, I believe, from Dallas, Texas, right? So is it okay if I play this a little bit? I'm gonna try to play a little clip and just
You
give
good.
people what it is.
You good.
All right,
Do
all
what
right,
you do. You good.
let's
You when you
get a little
living
bit.
and love you when you ain't breathing. That's why I wake up in the morning and hustle into the evening. Last night I had a dream I was a broke nigga. I hopped up, looked in the mirror and said, no nigga, hustle
you notice
first.
that things won't change, and your niggas ain't acting the same. Your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work, cause I'ma put my hustle first.
Trina.
Look, you said move around if you're not trying to work. So we're just gonna start there and work our way back up to the beginning of the song. Move around if you're not trying to work. Nick, you probably have some stories. I have some stories, but I'm only here to hear yours. What made you say it? Because I kind of don't know why you said it.
Well, it's because people around you when it's good, and I always learned that you'll see who really got your back is when they around you when it don't benefit them. Because it's easier to be around a situation when it's beneficial, but are you gonna be there when it's not? And so that's just the whole thing is move around if you're not trying to get in here and work with me and go hard and put in the same sweat equity that I'm putting in. You got to move around because if you're not grinding with me, you holding me back. So
that's
I
right.
get to that point to understand it because I carried so many people. I carried too many people, and I suffered all the time for that.
Indeed, and lessons learned. And again, you're teaching the youth here's what not to do, right? So take me to the making of the song. When you got to the first part, you got bars, and more bars. So tell me about it. Like, how did you come up with the beginning of the song? What made you think of the features that you were going to have? And, just start at the beginning of the lyrics.
So originally, that was a song I'd already recorded probably a year ago.
Okay.
And it was more when the original version of the song, I was more talking about how I sacrificed my career for Jump On It, how I fought for the city and went through the city hall drama and all the politics, and how I pretty much feel like I gave my life for a situation that didn't give me life back. That was the original situation. But I have a cousin by the name of DJ, and he came over one day and he wanted to hear some of my songs, and I played that. And as soon as he heard it, he said, "Man, you got to put Mo 3 on it." He just heard Mo 3 off the top.
Okay.
So I already had an ongoing relationship with Mo 3 and his manager. I've been knowing Rain for years, but I brought Mo 3 to Jump On It several times. So we'd already been building. Anytime I had an event that I could have 3 down, I would always bring him to the city. We also had a big festival that got canceled due to COVID, was him and Boosie, called the Fat Gator, that we're rescheduling now. But so we was always working. So it wasn't nothing but a phone call to Rain to say, "Hey, I need 3 on a record," and we figured it out. But during that process, I went in and rewrote my verse because I don't want it to be as personal. If I'm gonna have 3 on it, it's gonna be a bigger reach. Right. I need people to really, really feel what's going on right now versus talking about my struggles with the city of Austin. That's not gonna be relevant. Right. That's not gonna be relevant to people all over the world, in
Miami or Atlanta or California. Right. Got it. That was good. That was good revision. I like that. Yeah.
I got him to do the hook, and we were working on trying to figure out if I get him to do a verse, but I got the hook from him. I was supposed to go to Houston to actually go to the studio. I didn't make it, but I got the hook back from them on Friday, and then he passed on Wednesday. So it's like we hadn't even finished the record, and he died. And so I was kind of I was messed up about it. I was really hurt. I was angry and all that. And during that same time, we had a virtual Jump On It event where I had Trina coming to town, and so I was talking to her and talking to her manager about everything, and they ended up knowing Mo 3, and so it was a no-brainer. It was
timing. My God, the universe is so amazing.
Yeah, wow. So I was like, give me a verse on it, and we flew to Miami. She had the verse knocked out. We got it all done, but it was just unfortunate that Mo 3 wasn't here to actually grow with the song and for us to go out on the road and promote it. But it was crazy because when I rewrote my verse, it was before he passed. It was that week before, and some of the stuff I said in the verse was relevant to him dying. So it was like it kind of touched me a whole another way on the record. So yeah, I'm still barely kind of dealing with that because I get so emotional when I think about just the whole situation and what we were gonna do with that song, and just the opportunity for us to finally start working together, and then for it to be sucked away in less than a week.
Exactly. So. Man, but you know what? The universe always knows exactly what's going to happen, why it's going to happen, and why we connect with the people that we're going to connect. Right? I remember with reaching out to you in season 2, and you said, "No, I'm working on something, and I'm going to finish that, and then I'm going to get back with you." And you're such a man of your word, always has been. And you got back with me. And you said, "Hey, I'm done with that, and let's talk about." And here comes the song. And when I heard it, I said, "Oh, it's fire! It's got some relationship fire in there," because I feel like, women that are dealing with different guys, put your hustle first, put your woman first, get your mind off of all those side chicks and all that other extra stuff you got going on. Put your hustle in your relationship first so you guys can be that power couple that you desire to be. So this song just crosses over, Nook, into a lot of different genres of topics. I think that's what I like about it the most.
Look at how Mo3 got murdered. I mean, he was visiting a female friend. Nobody supposed to know he was there. They came in off the road, and then all of a sudden he's followed and shot and killed. And that was really what I feel like. If I could tell him anything, it would be to put his hustle first, because he focused so much on his enemies, and he focused so much on payback and so much of getting rid of his ops because of things that they had done, that he kind of lost, in my opinion, he kind of lost sight of what it took for him to get there and what he needed to do to sustain it and to make sure everybody around him was good. So he pretty much gave his life not putting his hustle first, is how I felt. Why I was hurt and I was angry, because I'm a fan of his and I saw that. But yeah, the line I have in there when I say, your female will set you up for some change, then she crying at your funeral, acting like she your main,
like she was the main. Come on. Yeah.
I feel like Mo3 got set up over some change, and then after he died, it was all this crying and this and that, and that's just something we deal with in this world with being set up. When I lived in LA, that was one of the main things. Hey, if you meet a female, don't go to her place. You'll get set up. Like, that was, females actually do that. They'll set you up, and it's grimy out here in the streets. And so
exactly. Yeah. So you know what, and again, those are just lessons learned for the younger people looking at it and saying, you know what, I want to do this thing. I want to get on the level that Nook Turner is on. What are some things that I have priority that should not be priority, and how can I put my main vision? Because as creators, we tend to set that to the side way too often. So, how can I put that first so that I can get where I want to go? So I love it. Yeah. It's the message is endless indeed. So what else do you want to tell us about the song?
I've already had ups and downs with it. It got taken down on YouTube. I don't know if you noticed, but it was off YouTube for a week.
Okay, YouTube, why you always coming for us? Wow.
It was actually Mo3's estate and the legal team.
Okay.
Based on copyright issues. Okay. So we had to go through relicensing everything, and everything that I'd done with Mo3's original manager, pretty much when he passed, got trumped by the estate. So I had to redo all my paperwork and redo all of my logistics with the attorneys over the estate. And so, yeah, that was a crazy for me, because we had been pushing and promoting this thing so hard. The YouTube was going crazy. Then it got pulled for a whole week. And then, so I'm telling everybody, go listen to the song, share it.
Yes.
My numbers were kind of crazy. We was up to like 70,000 views in 2 weeks. And then now it's at 54. So I don't know what's going on with the numbers. I don't know if, because I had to deal with Mo3's label. I had to deal with the attorneys. So it was almost like, the song was getting suppressed because they just dropped a new Mo3 album and they didn't want the song to come of, right. So everybody, you support me, or you support the message in the song, listen to it, share it.
That's it.
We got it. The state got our back now. Trina definitely is with it. Anything I need her for, we might go on a tour together. We still trying to figure it all out now with COVID and everything, but just support the record. And my main thing is focus on what makes you successful, because there's so many things. This world is set up for you not to win. That's just how it is. So you have to focus on what's going to put you in the best situation to win. Now you're destined to win, but you have to understand that you got to deal with the obstacles and focus on what's going to make you get to that point you want to get to, and not focus on all the distractions, because God is real. God is good. We're not going to fail unless we choose to fail. And by not putting your hustle first, you're actually making a choice to not succeed. So, and I made that choice. Yeah. So I understand I got to do things different. So that should be a motivational song that whatever you feeling good, bad, whatever, that something you can play, and it just kind of recalibrates you to saying, let me get on my grind. Even Trina's verse, I don't know if you caught anything she said.
I love Trina's verse. You know, I always love everything Trina does, but I love Trina's verse because she's always gonna bring it. She definitely dripped a little relationship talking there, because that's my girl. That's what she does. So I loved it. Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys, it just kind of crosses over into so many different things. But one thing that stood out to me is that you were wise enough to be an entertainment attorney. Come on, speak to the people about how important that is, Nook. Like,
you got to have an attorney on deck. One thing I say, I was telling you about growing up and living in the projects and kind of struggling. My dad wasn't involved, and I've never had a real relationship with my dad, even though I got his same name and born on his birthday. Love him to death. I talk to him. He's still breathing and alive, and so hopefully that'll change. But the only advice I ever got from my dad, the only real advice ever in my life, because he was in the streets most of my life, he said, always keep a lawyer on retainer.
There you
That's
go.
the only advice I ever got from him.
That's it.
And that advice paid off in this situation. Always have you a lawyer on retainer. Always have legal set up to where you can make a call, because anything can happen in this business. In anything that you're doing, keep your lawyer on retainer before you do anything else. Before you go buy a pair of $200 J's, take 75 of that and put it on a retainer for a lawyer. And what my dad said he used to do is every week when he was in the streets, he had a lawyer, and he would just give him $50 to $100 a week, even though he didn't need them. So when the situations really came, by the time he was in trouble, the lawyer been paid for the case triple time. So I always keep a lawyer.
There you go.
I got that.
Okay.
I got that. That's what saved me.
You know what? That's good advice, because I'm thinking I have an attorney. I might need to just drop him a little cash yet. Just take care of him continuously, because that's some really good advice right there. I didn't even think about it on that level. So talk a little bit. Some things I was seeing at the VMAs was a plethora of new artists. So where does Nook Turner stand on new artists? Who's your favorite?
Man, that's a hard one, because the game's so crazy right now. I'm really rocking with the baby on the cool, like
Joss.
I'm feeling what he is, but it's a new artist called Aha Gazelle. I don't know if I might have to look him up.
Okay.
And
I haven't heard it.
He kind of reminds you of Kevin Gates mixed with Chance the Rapper. And he got some research. I'm really definitely on that. And then of course, Lil Baby, Young Boy. Like I'm feeling what the newer younger artists are going, because they're really trying to figure out.
Got a little freeze there. Hold on, you guys.
Okay.
No, okay, there you go. Go ahead.
I'm really like the younger artists that you're really trying to. I'm seeing like Lil Baby, even the Migos. They're trying to put social commentary back into the music. They talking about real stuff. They talking about real life.
There we go.
And that's so I'm feeling any artist that got something real to say that I can use. I'm rocking with them. The whole other movement.
That's why I'm such a J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, like that part. Like, let's talk the real stuff. Exactly. I know that Denver, Colorado is gonna love you. So I hope that you put your hustle first. I hope to see you on the stage here in Denver really, really soon. I'm excited. I just saw Styles P and he just rocked that stage, So I would love to see you do the same here in Denver really soon. Yeah.
We working on. I'm getting ready. I'm going on tour. We just trying to figure out early 2022 or mid. That's what we're trying to figure out on that. I have a few festivals here would jump on it. We're gonna do in March and April. So I may wait till around the April time to go out, but we're gonna go everywhere. And I got so many songs loaded up. I got videos ready to go right now. So in the next
Loves
3
it.
weeks, I'm
Loves it.
gonna start dropping new stuff as well. You know, fun stuff, real stuff. But I'm gonna start letting people know who Nook Turner is. I had an offer from
That's
Warner
right.
Brothers. I went to New York. They offered me a deal. During that time, they had me take everything off of YouTube because we're working on a deal and I was going to re-release it. I never put it back out. So the world don't know who I am yet, and I don't have a lot of content out. We get ready to just start
that's
putting
okay.
content and letting them see who I really am.
And you have been seasoned to be this person since a preteen. I can't say enough. Like, you've been this person since you were so young. Austin, Texas. I know y'all know better. So you should be just flooding the YouTube, Austin, because there are some of you guys that, some of y'all were putting songs, jump on it. And I was like, oh, I'm embarrassed I brought that artist because that didn't really rock. You know what I'm saying? But look, you wouldn't even kick him off the stage. You didn't have no Sandman or anything. You just let it rock. So there's a lot of people in Austin that owe you.
I try, but it's real. Your own city won't support you until you pop in other cities. So as much love as I get here, it's still a barrier that has to be broken until an artist from here break into that next phase of really bubbling all over. Is the city not really gonna get behind it until that happens? So I got a lot of support, but I'm working on now building up my fans. Supporters is cool,
right?
Now it's time building up that fan base. Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. So I love Austin, but
you know what?
See what it is first.
Austin, we have to get, just talking hometown, born and raised Austin, Texas. I get to say this out of Denver, Colorado. But Austin, let's get on that Houston level. Like Houston, it doesn't matter if the person is about to sell a cookie. Like Houston supports everything as long as it's Houston. Austin, we need to do that. Atlanta is the same way. So it's so important that we learn to do that as our city, because we are still, I think, the music capital of the world in Austin, Texas. So, let's continue to unite the way that we stand behind the festivals and even the way we stand behind your jump on it. Let's do that for all the artists and the talent and the creators that come, original creators that come out of the city, But so I want to play. Go ahead.
The difference is any other cities you name, they had people that break out into national successes. And so now it's easier for them to support local because they don't know who's going to be the next. Here we haven't had that. So until someone is able to break that barrier and people become believers after that, right now they don't believe it. So we have to show them that we have something they can believe in. That's what I'm working on. There's a few other artists here that's doing that, but that's what we gotta do now is really show them that it's worth supporting. I think that's really
I'll tell you what, Nook Turner is this the Matthew McConaughey of hip hop. Nook Turner is this, what is it? We have like a whole bunch of actors and actresses that have come out of Austin, Texas. So all they need to do is just take a look at that music side, and you've been there all along, along. So indeed. I want to share this everywhere. So we're going to hit that clip one more time. Nook, I'm supporting you. I'm here. I'm doing everything that I can. I don't have a lot of resources, but I'm going to shoot it out there. I'm connected to some pretty important people. They kind of think they're more important than me, but I'm connected to some people. So I'll make sure that I send it out, as well. Let's just get the music going and share it everywhere. And I can't wait to see you guys come do this right here in Denver. I'm going to be there. Wherever you guys performing at, I'm definitely gonna come.
Okay, and I'll definitely keep you posted and send me the link. We'll get it out, and let's rock. And I appreciate this. And this is the resource. So this is the resource we need right here. So
exactly,
if this is the only thing you had to offer, I need it. Like this.
All right, no problem. So I can do that for you over and over again. I gotta give a shout out because he's like my new hero. He's like my new superhero. Your son, he killed the chip challenge. Like, he killed it. So shout out to your baby.
Young Turner in the building.
Yes. I got to shout him out. I was watching that and I was like, I'm getting hot with him. And he just like, it's nothing. I'm good. I loved it.
He told me the secret.
Yeah. Don't tell nobody yet. We're going to roll that TikTok over and over and over again. Don't tell nobody yet, because he's the star. He is the MVP on that right now. So
he definitely killed it. He surprised me, and then everybody that was there, because we had my mom was over, and his brothers and sisters. So we was thinking they wanted to see him suffer, I mean, that's how siblings do. They was like, "Oh, he gonna suffer," but
yeah,
he totally surprised us.
he
like
did that. It's
and
so
it was
amazing
pain because it wasn't easy. He suffered, but
yeah.
that said a lot about his heart. So that really made me proud.
He's just daddy's child. That's what it said. It said he's daddy's child.
Yeah.
Look, tell him how to find you on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Hey, let's hit those socials so they know how to follow the one and only, the original Austin, Texas great, Nook Turner.
At Nook Turner, NOOKTURNER on Instagram, Nook Turner, Twitter, Nook Turner, Facebook, I am Nook Turner.
Loves it.
Just look up Nook Turner and you'll find me. I'm everywhere.
Loves it. We are here for it. We're going to play that song for you guys one more time. Thank you for being a part of the show, and I'm here for you whenever you can come back. I'm looking forward to additional seasons, seeing you come and watching you grow. I appreciate you, Nook Turner.
Let's work it, and I'm gonna hit you about coming to Colorado. So, and I have two booking agents that's gonna line up stuff. So I'll definitely be in touch with you on that.
Loves it. No problem. Loves it. Yes, indeed. All right, you guys, one more time.
You when you living and love you when you ain't breathing. That's why I wake up in the morning and hustle until the evening. Last night I had a dream I was a broke nigga. I hopped up, looked in the mirror and said, no, nigga, hustle
you
first.
Notice that things won't change, and your niggas ain't acting the same. Your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work, cause I'ma put my hustle first.
Trina, I'm telling you.